people. Well, they cited a lack of historical records outside the Bible to back it up. But in 1993, they're doing a dig near the ancient Israelite city of Dan. There they found a shattered monument from the 9th century BCE, and on it were the inscriptions, House of David, King of Israel. Now, speaking of the find, the famous archaeologist, Professor William F. Albright, I hadn't heard of him, but he was famous in circles. He said that discovery after discovery has established the accuracy of innumerable details and has brought increased recognition of the value of the Bible as a source of history. So while historical accuracy is not the overall theme of the Bible, when it mentions people, places, dates, things like this, it's always proven to be authentic. Second, the Bible's authenticity as a divinely inspired book can be seen in its scientific accuracy. And we'll talk today about when it touches on matters of health and disease. Now, you may know who Hippocrates is. He lived in the 5th to 4th centuries BCE, and he was considered the father of modern medicine. Now, he was distancing himself from the church-based hospitals that would pretty much attribute all diseases to things like sin or violation of some kind of social taboo or things like that. So he was pioneering a lot of new things. And yet, 1,000 years earlier, Moses was recording the law for Jehovah's people. These included many guidelines for everyday living that helped with the prevention of disease, practices that nearby nations with well-educated people were not doing at the time or even for hundreds of years after. For instance, Deuteronomy 23 talks about guidelines for burying human waste outside of the camp. Now, they probably didn't understand about water contamination or the fact that insects could carry disease and things like that, but when they followed the law, they benefited. Certain animals were even deemed unclean, and corresponding laws were put in place to deal with them. Now listen as I read here in Leviticus chapter 11. Verse 32 says, "Now anything they fall on," speaking of these animals, "when they die will be unclean, whether a wooden utensil, a garment, a skin, or a piece of sackcloth. Any utensil that is used should be immersed in water, and it will be unclean until the evening, and then it will be clean." And 34, "Any kind of food that comes in contact with water from such a vessel will be unclean, and any drinkable liquid in such a vessel will be unclean." Excellent divinely inspired advice. Speaking on the subject of Hippocrates in the Bible, the American Medical Association News published a letter from Dr. H.O. Phillips, and this stated in part, "The best informed medical researchers now doing the best work are arriving at the conclusion that the Bible is a very accurate scientific book. The facts of life, diagnosis, treatment, and preventative medicine as given in the Bible are far more advanced and reliable than the theories of Hippocrates, many still unproven, and some found to be grossly inaccurate." A third point, the authenticity of the Bible is attested to by the harmony that we see throughout its 66 books. Many times, several authors will contribute on a publication. Sometimes even dozens of people will get together for like a high school textbook. Now, many of them attended similar schools. They studied from similar books, they lived in similar areas, they had similar ideas. Then, after everyone submits everything for this textbook, say, it goes through an editor to make sure it comes together as one cohesive unit. And even then, sometimes the process fails. I was recently at work taking a test, and we had to study. I knew it was going to be a hard test, so we studied very hard, outlined everything. We noticed